Welcome everybody back to Three Inquisitive Kids, and in this video we will be starting another topic of our 5th grade series, and it's all about problems, calculation problems that involves addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division with whole numbers and fractional numbers, and that also includes, of course, decimals. So we're going to look at some skills we're going to need because calculation is the basic skill you need if you're going to solve these different types of more challenging problems. So if you meet, say, a problem like this in one of your problems and you don't know how to solve it, that's going to be a problem. So let's do some practice with this. First, I want to talk about the order of operations. So we have a video on them, and I will be putting the link to it in the description down below. But basically, to wrap it up, it's basically how we do things in complicated expressions like this. Okay, so we first have parentheses. So those are the bracket thingies. So we always do those parentheses first. This is what it looks like. And then we do the exponents. Exponents will not be showing up in any of these problems. But I expect you know what exponents are. Let's have an idea of them. That's like 2 to the 4th power. Then we do multiplication and division. Finally, we do addition and subtraction. So this is parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So let's get started. So what do we see here? We see multiplication, division. We see fractions, so we see decimals, we see parentheses, we see mixed numbers. So because sometimes especially when we start using variables, we start not writing this multiplication sign right here and just putting either two parentheses around two things, or by just putting two things right next to each other without anything in between. And that would mean it's multiplication, and as you get into older grades, you will understand what I mean. But to avoid confusion, we don't usually like to use mixed numbers very much in case it's a special problem where that makes everything easier. Most of the times we prefer improper fractions because those are less confusing. So the first thing we do, and those are also in general more easy to calculate. So our first step is to convert all of the mixed numbers into improper fractions. And if there's any decimals, since all the rest of the numbers are fractions, we should probably turn that into improper fraction as well. So this is, right, we do 11 times the denominator, which is 33, plus this 2, so 35. Multiply that with 4/5. And we're not doing this all in our head, we're writing down the steps. And as you can see, I'm going to write down equation signs like this to make my work clear. And then we have the parentheses. So in there, 2 and 1/9. That's 19/9 plus, and we have 25/3 divided by 5/2. Okay, so let's start with this outside right here. And 35 and 5. Those we can cancel out. This becomes 7, and we get 28/3. Now we're not going to do this division yet because remember we have to do parentheses before division. So in here we have addition and division. Some people, they might go ahead and just do 19/9 plus 25/3, but really that's not the case because we need to do division before subtraction. So let's first leave this 19/9 over here, and we do 25/3 divided by 5/2. So 25/3 divided by 5/2. When we divide fractions, we always multiply by the divisor's reciprocal, meaning it's the same as 25/3 times 2/5. Now we can simplify. This becomes a 1, this becomes a 5. The final answer is 10/3 over here. Alright, so we leave this 28/3 outside of the parentheses, And over here, we're going to add 19 ninths with 10 thirds. So can we add these? Not yet, because we need to have common denominators first. So the LCM, least common multiple of 9 and 3, is 9. So we could just, the first fraction stays the same. We multiply both the top and bottom of 10 thirds by 3. So the denominator becomes 9 and the top becomes 30. Alright, so what's 19 plus 30? 49. 49 over 9. So that equals 18 thirds, and I'm not going to write another step here, meaning I'm just going to turn this division into multiplication. And the reciprocal of 49 ninths is 9 over 49, 9 49ths. Now let's see what we can do here. Well, this becomes a 1, this becomes a 3. This, 28 and 49 are all multiples of 7, meaning this becomes a 4, and this becomes a 7. So after multiplying, we get 12 over 7, and that's our final answer.